Good morning. Om Shanti. Namaste. Bev Hetherington here from Nutri5+. One Posture Wednesdays are back. So I had a week off camping last week. And last week we did Janu Shirshasana, so head to knee pose. And this week that's a really good preparatory posture, as is child's posture, Balasana, and Uttanasana, so a standing forward fold. And all of these are on the One Posture Wednesdays. I think I've done about 19 of them now. This could be the 19th. Yeah, so I know a lot of you finding them really useful. So always good to hear that. And if there's anything specific that you want to focus on, then good to know that too. So you can access them from my website, www.nutri5plus.co.uk. And if you scroll down to the services and classes written in white, click on that, it will take you, if you keep scrolling all the way down, to my current timetable. I am teaching in studios again, which is lovely. There's also a couple of the studios offering live stream classes, so you can practice with me from home when I'm in the studio too. So for more information, contact the studio or myself. And if you keep scrolling down to Wednesday, you'll see there's a hyperlink. Click here. If you click on it, it takes you to my YouTube channel. There's lots of videos on there, and if you go to videos, there's all the One Posture Wednesdays to find, to have a look at. So let's get started. I thought today we would look at Paschimottanasana. So Paschim means west, and Atana meaning a deep stretch. So yeah, so let's slowly come to sit. So we're bringing the legs out in front of us. And we're just going to release the flesh from the sit bones. So really important, we can never do that enough. I know you know that. So we want to be on the ischial tuberosity, the very central point of the disc, that bony protuberance in your butt cheek. So it's actually a little bit further under. You can feel it if you pop your hand on it. So you just want to make sure, so I like to roll one side and roll the other side, and it's almost a diagonal out and back movement. And this posture is a seated forward fold. So what we're offering here is work for the back of the legs. Yeah, it's a stretch for the shoulders, it's a stretch for the back. And if you have very, very tight hamstrings, you might like to start, if you notice that that happens and you've slumped, then you need some lift here and some assistance. So what you might like to do is pop your bottom on a block. If you don't have a block, you might use a rolled up blanket. You might use a cushion. So I'm going to use a cushion today. And you'll see I just almost come onto the edge of the cushion. And it's like that forward tilt gives me some lift and length in the hip flexors and the psoas muscle that comes all the way up into the abdominals. And a key here for us coming forwards is we always want to come further, first of all, than the body enables. So it's really important to listen to your breath and listen to the breath leading the body where it's going. So don't let this lead you, because this will be wanting to go further. Let the breath lead you, and the body then follows the intelligence of that breath. So quite common for beginners, if you're very tight in the hamstrings and the back of the legs, men tend to be more so than women. You might like to take a blanket and roll it up and pop it to the back of your knees so that you've got some support there and it's softer, gives a release to the hamstrings. So I mentioned earlier that you can be rounding. This can be because if the hamstrings are tight, then they're pulling on the back of the hip, which is pulling on the top, which is rounding you down. So as we've started to assist ourselves now with our props, we can start to sit up tall. So what we're looking in this posture as we move forwards is for the tailbone to move away from the back of the hips. Think the tailbone is going towards the back of your mat. Your heart is going towards the top of your mat, where your feet are, between your feet, in fact. So if it's not enough to have a blanket underneath, you might want to pop the feet to the ground and actually have bent legs. This is a great way to begin, and I often do this in my own practice, because the belly, which is we want the lower belly to come to the thighs first, and then the upper belly, and then the chest and the ribs, and the head comes down last. Excuse me, feel that coming. So really important that we're not overreaching, because our mind is going, we want to get there, and then we see that the shoulders start to reach the posture and we've collapsed in the torso, in the upper torso. So a key thing to remember when we're coming forwards is the moment you shorten between your pubic bone and your navel, stop. Take a moment, perhaps come up, re-lengthen that front area from navel to pubic bone to navel, beg your pardon, and then think again from navel to heart. So we keep this area long, yeah, we're not shortening it, we're not rounding it. So again, it might be quite challenging for you to reach your feet to take hold, so we would use a strap. Excuse me, I've got the sniffles now after my sneeze. So on using our strap, we would pop a strap around the feet. So, and it's really important that we are not trying to get to the furthest place, yeah? It's really about being in a place that's available. So relax the shoulders and the elbows. Notice if you're pulling already and the shoulders are rolling forwards. Keep that long spine and that invitation. I always like to say the hook in the heart is being drawn up, yeah? Take hold of your strap, but not so the shoulders are rounding forwards towards the toes, keeping them broad. And when you're ready, inhale and exhale and keep that lift and length. So you're hinging from your hips. You're not coming forwards from your waist. You're lifting up. As you press down through the seat, you lift up out the top of the head on the inhale. And as you exhale, send the tailbone back to the back of the mat away from your pelvis. As you keep the length in between, from pubic bone to navel and from navel to heart, and you slowly start to draw yourself forward. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed, the collarbones deeply broad. And tuck the chin a little to the chest, so we don't want the back of the head, the back of the neck compressed and wrinkled. We'd like the chin slightly to the chest. And now you see the belly is on the thighs, and you've actually got almost a shelf for the belly. The spine is long still, and we're not rounding. The shoulders are still broad. So once you've been here a short while, you might find there's some space, and you might slowly walk the feet further away. Again, remember where you are is perfect. And you might slowly find there is space enough. And you might find that you can actually start to take the arms a little bit lower down towards your feet. But keep relaxing the shoulders. Remember, no rounding forwards. Keep sending the tailbone straight back. The moment you start to shorten between the pubic bone and the navel, take stock, stop, inhale, press that tail back, that heart forwards and up, and exhale and come forwards with a long flat back. Good. For those that have a little bit more, you might find that you can reach the feet. Yeah, so you might find that you don't need something to the back of the knees. You find that you can reach your feet. You might bring the legs in together if that's available in terms of your hips. Remember, if it isn't, take the feet wider. Keep relaxing the shoulders. Keep that length from pubic bone to navel, from navel to heart lift. Tailbone going straight back. And it's the belly to the top thighs, and then the top, so the lower belly to the top thighs, the upper belly towards the knees a little. The chest comes down, and then the head follows. Relax the shoulders. If you have hold of the feet comfortably, you might take the elbows out and keep pressing the tail back and the crown forwards. You can keep inhaling, coming up, offering that heart lift, exhaling, lowering down. So the direction, the energetic direction for the heart is towards the big toes. Remember, no cranking of the neck. If you have more, you might take the back of one hand to the soles of your feet and take the palm to the other palm, and you might grip the fingers, or you might take the wrists. Keep relaxing the shoulders, reaching the elbows out to give space, to broadening the collarbones. Settling in and down, relaxing. Keep breathing in, offering that heart forwards, the crown forwards. Keep breathing out to settle in and send the tail backwards. For those of us that have a little more still, we might take a block or a brick and place it to the soles of the feet, and then we have more length to draw on. You might stay here for 3 to 5 breaths. Breathing in and out for 1, remembering that you can soften around the knees and then soften around the shoulders. Inhale, come up a little, exhale to lower. So this is helpful to calm our brain, stress, headaches, mild depression, fatigue. Wonderful, as you can see, for the ovaries, hormonal balance, menopause, kidneys, liver, opening there in the back body. Helps to improve our digestion. It's quite nice to move from side to side to get some length in the side body as you do it. Obviously helps to reduce headaches and fatigue. Really good, therapeutic for high blood pressure, infertility, insomnia and sinusitis as well. So you'll notice the more you stay, the more you find some space, honor the space, don't be in a rush to get anywhere. And traditionally, in a lot of the texts read about this, fantastic for obesity. Great for appetite, enhancing appetite. And when you're ready, when it's time to come away, popping the hands down and slowly honoring that climb up your spine. As you inhale, the head sits upon its axis as you exhale. And you might want to bend the knees and bring the feet in. And take the hands around the shins to take a seated forward fold. Soften the gaze, closing the eyes. Always honoring the posture. Very slowly releasing. Coming up, let the head sit on its axis. So things to be aware of when you're coming into this posture. Lower back issues, of course. So if you're unsure, then do speak to an experienced instructor before you go ahead. They will be able to give you some alternatives. So a really lovely place to come from. You might recognize this. It's the same posture that deep forward fold. It's exactly the same posture. Release the chin to the chest, roll the shoulders down. But again, if there's any lower back issues, we wouldn't, specifically if there are disc issues, protruding disc, prolapsed disc, we would never come more than 90 degrees. So that might be the same in our Paschimottanasana, our west-facing pose. We would never come more than 90 degrees. So for some of us, you know, we don't think this is the forward fold. This is enough. You know, if it's tight in the back of the legs, reaching through the heels, taking soft props, acknowledging the toes, maybe the chin to the chest is your fold. Now, if you're a beginner or if you have injury, then working with what you have is enough. You know, sometimes for beginners or with injuries, this is your forward fold, and that's welcome. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me as always, and I'll be back next week with more. Hope you have a wonderful week. Thanks again. Om Shanti. Namaste. Bye.